What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Deuce Mess, getting ready to spread some poop on the ground. Got some manure going over here to the field. And I think we should have enough to do this whole field. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to get the nitrogen right or not, but we're going to find out. And I don't remember how wide this thing throws, so let's just go right here and set us up a GPS, shall we? There we go. Yeah, so weeds and more. I put more because we're doing this to start with, but we have lots of weeds, and we may go spray them ourselves to cut down on some of the worker cost today, as it were. Okay, auto width. Oh, that's actually pretty wide. Okay, hang on. Let's go over to like right there. That'll do it. All right, cool. Let's get back around now. Luckily, we're not doing any damage to the crops just yet. I'm sure we will at some point, but not right now, so that's good. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We got Jimmy over here spraying weeds on field 7. You can see he's actually made some pretty good progress here. Let's go check on him real quick. Oh, he's got 3,000 left in there. He's good. He's good. We'll move him over to field 14 if we're not done with this, which we as many trips we're going to have to make back and forth, we may not be. I'm going to be honest. May not be done with this by the time he gets done with field 7. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Actually, that's not using as much as I thought it would. I guess because we can only put so much down, so that's good. We are using like 8.6 tons per hectare right here. But this is the worst part of the land. And once we get past this, we should be okay. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see loamy sand, sandy loam, and then loam. Loam should be using 11.4 tons per hectare. That's weird. It should be using less. That's okay though. Either way, I think we got enough in there to do this whole field, maybe. If we can make one pass and still have 3,000 or 4,000 left, we got enough. I don't know though yet, but we'll see. It is May. That means in June we'll be able to sell our soybeans, so we'll probably get to that point today, hopefully. Bob dropped 300 or 500 in-game cash. Sorry, I was going to ×3 on my time scale there. 500 in-game cash. Thank you, Bob. Much appreciated, buddy. Appreciate that. It didn't pop up in Twitch, but it popped up for me. It didn't pop up in chat, rather. It popped up for me though. But yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you. 500 in-game cash. I'll take it. You guys can see. Short on the monies again. It looks like we're going to make it. We started with 21,000 maxed. That was completely maxed out. 21,000 is what we started with. And it looks like we're going to have about 7,000 left, probably. Roughly. Maybe. Hopefully. 6,500? We shall see. 6,900. Okay. That's not bad. We're just going to cut over here into this field. I don't know who owns this field. I don't even know my neighbors anymore. I have no idea who they are. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to take about 4 trips up and down. So if we get about 100,000, we're good. It's just going to take a few trips back and forth over to the manure heap to get this filled up. That's okay too. It's not that big a deal, right? Nah. Bob, how are you? Crystal, how are you? Spider-Egg, good to see you. Hope you all are well today. So we started with, what was it, 74,000? 7,400, I mean? It's actually not doing bad. About halfway right there. That can't be right. We used like 17,000 on the first go. No, not 17. 14. We used 14,000 on the first go around. And that was 7,000. So yeah, that's probably about right. That's not quite half. It's close. It's close. Not quite where we need to be. Chicken Chow, what's up? How's it going? I'm not going to replant your field up by where you deleted your silo last night. You're not going to replant it? Okay, cool. That gives me the opportunity to come in and plow all that together. Then that works. That works for me. Oh, we definitely got 100,000 in there, so we got plenty of manure to make this work. I just don't know if this is going to get the nitrogen level to exactly where it needs to be, or if we're going to have to substitute some granule fertilizer in there as well. Let's see. Nitrogen level. I mean, that gets it up to like 80, yeah, and 100 in some areas. And then this one's at like, what, 20? No, 60? Yeah. Yeah, so it's not, I mean, it's not bad. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. We're probably going to have to put more down because that's corn. It's not soybeans. Soybeans don't need any. If we would have planted soybeans first, we probably would have been okay because it would have put some nitrogen back in there. But also, this is the first year, so everything's going to be a little bit tricky trying to figure out where we're at, what we're doing, that kind of thing. We're using this first year to gauge all this and see how it goes. And I'm doing corn for chaff, so at some point I will have to get the construction company to come in and take that building because I want to sell it. And then get FarmFlex Buildco. We'll have to get them to come in and buy that building back from us. And then get them to pour me some concrete clamps somewhere. I just don't know where I want them. Some silage bunkers. We're going to have to get them. We're going to have to put them in somewhere. So I just don't know where yet. That's going to be the question. I'll have to see. But hopefully they'll give us a decent price for that building, getting it back to them. May try to get in touch with them over the weekend and see what they can do. Wanted to have a chance to plow it together? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'll get to it. I'll work on it tomorrow for sure. Tater Salad, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? Hope you're doing well, sir. Welcome back. Derek resubbing for 15 months of sub support here on the channel. I appreciate you for 15 months in a row even. Much appreciated. Those some hearts and plunders from Gold 2P in chat for Derek. I appreciate that, bud. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome back. J-Rock still rocking that 12-month gifted sub from True Man of War. Said thanks to True Man of War for my gifted sub. Yeah, buddy. 12-month gifted sub. That's crazy. That's crazy. J-Rock, appreciate you, man. Thanks to True Man of War for the gifted sub again. I appreciate you continually just being here, buddy. When you can, anyway. I understand. Those some hearts plungers from Golden TP in chat for J-Rock in 22 months and for True with the 12-month gifted sub. Crazy, man. That's wild. That's wild. I want to turn this. Actually, I don't want to turn it off. I'll wait till we get empty, and then I'll jump out, and we'll check the status of some of this. We'll walk around with our handheld tester and get a rough idea of what's going on. We'll get a rough glimpse of what's happening. Oh, so there's a free game on Epic right now. I meant to mention this. I'm probably gonna pick it up if I haven't already. I think I've already got it. Let me see. Yeah, I did. Horizon Chase Turbo. It's in the 80s and 90s style arcade racing. And I'm definitely gonna be playing that. I don't know if I'll stream it or not, but I'm definitely gonna be playing it for sure. Yeah, sorry about today, guys. I was working on Q1 paperwork stuff, and just lost track of time. By the time I realized it was like almost 1. I was like, all right, well, never mind. Interesting slurry spreader. That's manure, yeah. It's a manure spreader. Oh, right there at the end. All right, cool. Let's just come back around here, and we will. Let's jump out and test that. Yeah, that's cool. So we got one more. Yeah, one more run down the field. That's pretty good. That's not bad. All right, so it didn't put down what exactly we needed, but it put down some. So it's going to save us some fertilizer, I think. We got 90 of 200 on there right now for nitrogen. Now, I don't know if we did manure first and then plowed it in, if that would make a difference. But this has got 0 on it. That's got 80 on it, 85, 90 in some places. So that's got 0. So, yeah. Yeah. It's going to make up some difference on the granule fertilizer we need anyway. What game was that again? It's called Horizon Chase Turbo. And it's on Epic for free right now. There's some add-on packs you can get. One of them's like $6, one of them's like $1.99, one of them's $3.99 or something. But it's free on Epic, the base game is. And it's in like, think of like Cruis'n USA, but like the original version of Cruis'n USA, so like late 80s, early 90s arcade style. It's like that. Cruis'n USA was actually pretty good for its time, so. Nothing like a good old natural cow poo furt. You got that right. And I don't know if I went over it again, if it would up it again. Like, I don't think it would. I think I'd have to have, like, slurry, right? I'm assuming if we get the biogas plant and we use, we take the manure and the slurry down there and turn it into whatever the byproduct is. I'm sure that would probably do more. But for right now, this is helping some. It's going to save us on granule fertilizer. So I think that's the big goal here, is to use as much natural fertilizer as we can, and then use all the... We're already spraying herbicide on all this stuff, so I don't want to do... I don't want too much granule fertilizer either. We'll burn the crops out, so... Digestate, that's it, yeah. I don't know if digestate would actually do more per... more for the nitrogen levels, because granule fertilizer just puts it where it needs to be, right? I mean, you spread as much fertilizer there as it needs to get that nitrogen back up. But for manure, you can only spread so much manure, and it'll only do so much. So that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it would be nice to have a enough here that I don't have to go over the field twice. Right now, you can see the little thing in the top left there. You see the like the finish line flag, right? And then you see the red bar behind that. That's where it's going to, right? We need to get it up to the finish line. So we still need plus 60 basically in whatever area it's in, plus 70. So yeah, we're still going to need some over here for sure, but this is working anyway. It's getting, you see we went from red to orange in this area, so some of these are still pretty heavily needed. These don't need anything. I know it looks like they do, but soybeans don't require nitrogen at all. They actually put nitrogen back in the soil. So this first year, again, it's going to be kind of weird. It's going to be kind of tough. We're just going to have to kind of figure it back out, and then we'll go from there. So. Want to grab that? Yeah, it looks cool. There's not a whole lot that comes up on Epic all the time that I want. I usually get them if I have any sort of interest in them. I got the walking simulator that's got Daryl from The Walking Dead in it. What's it called? I got that one. Death Stranding or whatever. And I haven't even installed it yet. I've never played it. I've never watched anybody play it, but I haven't even installed it. I picked it up. I was like, well, I'll play it when I feel like it, I guess. So. One of these days we might play it. I hear it's a pretty good game. It's just a walking simulator. All right, let's go grab the granule fertilizer now. We'll finish that field off. Again, it should be... it should take a lot less granule fertilizer now that we got this. Now, if we had a slurry spreader too, I could probably go over that with slurry, but I don't know. Hey, what's up, Benz? How's it going? Voltage, how are you? Good to see you. Clover and alfalfa put nitrogen back as well. Cool. Okay. So we may rotate corn and alfalfa. I'll just have to figure out a way to get because I don't have a pickup wagon or anything, and I don't want to do bales if I'm going to put down a clamp for corn. I'll have to figure out a way to get that, and I've already got a clamp over here. I may just use for right now. Honestly, it just kind of makes sense. And I don't know, can you combine chaff and grass? Can you do that? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing or not. Like, I've already got some grass in there. Could I put chaff in there with it? Or is that a no? Alright, let's grab a fertilizer spreader. Don't know. Yeah, I've never tried. But yeah, I've got a little bit of grass in there. Usually can, yes? Okay, cool. Yeah, we might give that a go. But I've got a mower, so I mean we can cut the alfalfa. I just don't have any way to pick it up. That would be the hardest bit, I think, is just picking it up. Now we could take our bucket out there and scoop it into a trailer, one scoop at a time, which would take a long time to do. But we could do that. Not that I would want to, but we could. And I don't even know if there's fertilizer in this thing or not. Maybe lime in here. Nope, nothing in here. We don't have any granule fertilizer either. No, we're out of lime and everything, aren't we? Yeah. All right, let's go grab some fertilizer then. Off to the store. Where's Jimmy at over here? Oh yeah, he got a couple more runs left. He'll be done. Sweet. Yeah, we're gonna grab some granule fertilizer. And again, it shouldn't take near as much because it's already, I mean, we're already I'd say halfway. We're about a third of the way there on what it needs as far as nitrogen, so it should be okay. And we could flip these and do, I should have done more than one field of corn, but again, this is kind of a test year. So what we might do after is flip these and do the 2 big fields in soybeans, and then the 3 little ones in corn, and then do the 3 little ones in corn, soybeans, and then the 2 big ones in corn. We might go back and forth on it and just see what happens with the nitrogen level. Again, having that rotation would put some nitrogen back in there for us. And honestly, there's a forced rotation mod. Battery was talking about this last week, I think. I think that would be cool to add to the game because it would just add that much more difficulty to it for me. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe we do that. I don't know. Maybe we flip the cornfields and alfalfa fields once we get a way to pick it up. I don't know. And again, once we get, if we get a forage harvester, right, we'll be able to have a mower head and a corn head. So we could literally just swap between them. That would make it so much easier. The downside of doing corn is we're going to have to plow. And that's going to hurt the environmental score, I think. Or maybe you don't. I don't remember. Maybe you don't have to plow if you've got this on. I really can't remember. How many of these do you think we need? Let's see. They're 1,000 each. We weren't using this. We were using the Corn Cali AS. I don't think we need 8. Probably just 2. Probably just 2 will do it. It's not going to take much. I'm going to go ahead and buy 3, though. It shouldn't take much at all, realistically. Hopefully. Hopefully. But yeah, just regular grass seems to not. It's like a neutral for nitrogen. It doesn't really need anything. So it needs more lime, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll get 3 cuts a year. We're going to lime all the fields once a year. Not worry about it. That should be enough for this, I think. I hope it's enough for this anyway. Yeah, so maybe we'll just use the clamp we got for now because we're not going to fill that thing up with this amount of corn anyway. It's not going to happen. So maybe we should use the clamp we got for now. Later, once we get some more money built up, we get a cow pen on the other end, start moving some babies down there. We'll put a clamp down there with it because we're going to be taking up more than one field down there anyway at some point. So it just seems like a good idea, really. Let's see. Let's get that thing right on the edge of that field. That should put us right on the edge of ours. All right, let's see what happens. Tater salad flushing 1,000 bits. I'm glad you're streaming. Feels like I'm no longer sitting at home alone trying to down my PTSD and beard. Oh man, come on now. You're in good company here, buddy. I promise you. Your company and uploads to YouTube mean more to me than you know. Thank you, man. I have no words, buddy. I have no words. I'm just happy that it helps somebody, and that's been the goal since day one. If it helps somebody every single day, that's all that matters to me. I appreciate the kind words and the 1,000 bits, buddy. Much appreciated. Guys, get some hearts and plungers in chat for Tater Salad. Heck yeah, man. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you. I don't have words other than that. Other than just being here and giving people a place to be with other good members of the community to hang out, man. I appreciate you. That should get the rest of that. And we're using almost no fertilizer. We only used about 600 going down, so we'll just go ahead and go across here so I don't get in the... That should be right on the edge of the field. It is. It's close enough for me. I'm not gonna worry about that little line on the edge over there. I don't think it's close enough. Yeah, it's gonna be just this little bit right here. Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's smaller than I thought it was. We should have enough fertilizer to get through all this, and probably some left over. So 3 bags is about right. That's all we needed. It was all we needed. Yeah, 1,900. Again, it's using a little bit more down here, but that's okay. 407 kilograms per hectare is not bad. It's using a little less on like the silty clay and the sandy loam and loamy sand stuff, but loam takes it's a lot better ground, a lot more fertile. So it's understandable that it's going to need a little bit more because it's going to soak up more. So. Yeah, 407 kilograms per hectare. Not too bad. Oh, looks like Jimmy's done over there. Let's go ahead and stop right there for a second and go get Jimmy started on the next field. Oh, you're not done. You just think you're done. That's right. I'll finish it off, buddy. No problem. No problem. I think he got stuck on the hill. Maybe thought he was finished. He is not. We'll get him started on field 13 here in a second, though. Field 13, then we're going to get those fields up there sprayed, and then we're good. Everything's ready to go on to the next month. Hopefully. Hopefully it will be anyway. I always say that, and then something always comes up to where I can't do it. It looks like a little down through there, too. That's all right. We'll swing down through there. Let's go to the weed map here. Yeah, you see there's a little right there and a little right here. Rest of it he got, though. Pretty good, man. Jimmy did pretty dang good. Pretty dang doggone good. Now we'll just cruise on down. Look at these little spots. I'm guessing he stopped because there's stuff in the way. Look at the header. Jimmy, what'd you do to the header, man? You must have turned and caught it at some point. Dang it, Jimmy. That's all right. All right, cool. That'll do for that one. Let's go. I'm going to start him over here on this side, I think. Doggone it, Jimmy. Every time. What's up, True? How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Also, it's May 4th. Did you make your obligatory Star Wars reference today? All right. There we go. Jimmy's off and running again. Let's check the map here for this now. Oh, see, yeah, that's what we want. We want that sucker full, man. Again, some of it's not going to be that Sandy Loam and Loamy Sand's just not going to take. Right? But it did take some. So we're at 200 for the most part here. That's good. That's what we want. And again, because we use some manure first, we're not using near as much of this right here as we would be. So nope, the Force died with Han Solo. Hey, you know, everybody's got their feeling on it. So heard enough of those for today. Yeah. William Shatner tweeted earlier, May the 4th be with you, of course, and with like a smirk face after it. So I found a gif of, what's his name, Seth Rogen or whatever his name is, from Fanboys, where he pulls up his shirt and he's got like the tattoo of Jar Jar Binks on his back. Because William Shatner was in Fanboys, and the Fanboys movie was about Star Wars, but William Shatner's part of Star Trek, and he was in it as himself. So I thought it was pretty funny. But that was my reference today for Star Wars. Was just that, and I'm okay with it. I'm not looking to spend too much time on May the 4th, because tomorrow's Revenge of the 5th. So. I don't know how that happened. Like, why would people think that's funny? I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's annoying. Wait a minute, I got fertilizer. What is this? Is this fertilizer? Oh, dang, we got solid fertilizer sitting over here. All right, hang on a minute now. Hold up. Wait a minute. Put a little fertilizer in it. Pick up the rest of that. Now we can dump both of them. We'll pull back up here to the front, I think, to dump them, though. There we go. Heck yeah. Now, we don't need this thing again till after harvest this year. After the harvest, we'll probably go ahead and start putting lime down as we go through days. Just because. Man, I can't get this thing to back straight up today. There we go. Weird. No. Detach. There we go. Sheesh. All right. I'll just leave that one sitting there. We are done with the fertilizer. As you can see, that's exactly where it needs to be. That's good. Taking a knee for 6 months. Things are looking up. I have self-admitted to the VA hospital and going to stay on May 26th. Nice, buddy. Heck yeah, man. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're getting some help, man. There's nothing wrong with that at all, buddy. All right, we don't have anything else to do, so we're just going to send Jimmy on for the day. And we'll just finish this off ourselves. And yeah, it's going to be slow going, but it'll be all right. We ain't got nothing else to do. This is basically it. Bet you can't put them out to pasture on fields and make fertin easier. I mean, it would be if there was anything to eat out there. The grass fields, it would make it really easy, yeah. Just send them out, let them eat grass. Which technically, over there behind the barn, we could plant that with grass or alfalfa or something. So, I mean, we could plant that. But it just seems like a lot of work to get in and out over there. Very slow going at 7 miles an hour. I like that chicken chow. I like that. Just keep moving forward, one day at a time, one step at a time, or crawl if you have to. Just don't quit. I like that. Beats the 44 we're going the other day. I'm not gonna lie, man. After playing on this for what are we at now? What is it? May? We started this in either July or August in 2022 on this map. So, I mean, we've been at this at least 9 months now.
That's a new follower.
It's kind of nice to play on something with some OP stuff a couple times a week. Not gonna lie, pretty nice. Ian, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. We did that IRL. Used to let them out, eat the cornfields after the harvest. Would put silage or hay out to supplement. Yeah, see, that's a good idea. That's not bad. And that would make sense, too, if we could put the cows out in the cornfield. That'd be great. How's it going, Ian? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. One closer. One closer. Less than 150 away from 3,000. Pretty crazy. Doing well. It's good to hear. Just need that mod. J-Rock, get on it. Oh, man. J-Rock, I think J-Rock's got his hands full right now on Dairyland 4X. So, I don't know how much more he's going to be doing right now. Yeah, J-Rock seems to have his hands full right this second. They do a pretty good job on the corn stalks, I bet. Yeah, I bet they do. How are you all doing this wonderful Thursday evening? I'm doing pretty well. No reason to complain, which is always good. He's the only modder I know, so he gets all the work, like it or not. That's right. The AI tasking on Dairyland's giving you a fit? I bet, man. I bet. Yeah, it seems like that's the one thing that always seems to be off in some way on every map that I've played on is the AI on 22. And I'm guessing it's because of the rework and all the added tasks. So, because 2019 it didn't seem like they had near the problem they do now. But now you can have them go do things for you instead of just hit H on the field. So. AI splines on 4X maps are no bueno, yeah. I bet it's not fun. But again, like True said, you're the only modder I know, so we've had several modders come through and hang out in the channel. But you're the only one that I've talked to on a regular basis. J-Rock, how hard is it? I know how to change the mass and the quantity and all that kind of the speeds on headers for harvesters and all that kind of stuff. How do I change the like if say I wanted a 45-foot header, right, the big header in the game, but I wanted it to actually pick up 300 meters wide instead of not 300 feet wide instead of 45 feet wide. How hard is that to do? Is it just the work width number you change instead of like a 3 you put it on a 10 or whatever? How hard would that be to do? Change the work area? Okay. Yeah, the reason I ask is because we've had a few interest in doing a super OP, like really big map before we do 4X. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I'm not just going to up the quantity it holds or the speed it goes. I want a harvester to harvest like this whole field width right here as we go, you know? Like, I think that'd be fun. Oh, you have to move the modes in GE as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know how to move the nodes, but never mind. Getting late, tater out, have fun. All right, buddy, have a good one, man. I appreciate you, sir. But yeah, I didn't realize you had to move the nodes. That's likely not going to happen. I stopped downloading mods from random websites and stuff. I just don't do that anymore. Not as bad as the I don't even want to use the word. I feel like it'll trigger an algorithm or something on YouTube. Hijackers, I guess. As bad as that stuff's gotten, man, I just don't trust downloaded zip folders anymore. Yeah, I just don't trust the zipped folder because you never know what you're unzipping. You know? Like Dashnet's got a website kind of coalition thing built. I'll get them off of there, but that's because they're all streamers that mod, and Dashnet's been around a long time, so. Also, can you make it so stuff breaks while using it? Using it, perfect for Deuce. Man, that's terrible for me. What you talking about? That's a terrible idea. Have to wait for the dealers to repair their trucks to come out? Oh, that would be terrible, yeah. I mean, that'd be like a combination of, what was it, Farm Sim 2020, the last one that came out? Not Farm Sim, Farm Manager 2020 was the last one that came out. So that one you had to wait on, you had to call the vet to get it to come out and like vaccinate the cows and do artificial insemination. You had to have a mechanic, you had to wait on them to come out and repair your tractors and stuff. Like, it'd be a combination of that and Farm Sim. That would actually be kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people would hate it, but I think it'd be kind of neat. And I was thinking about something a while ago, too, that I feel like should be incorporated in the next Farm Sim, the next iteration of Farm Sim. I can't remember what it is now, though. Also, Farm Sim 23 coming out on mobile this month. Is that right? Do you think that means we're going to get Farm Sim 24 at the end of the year? I think it might. I think it might mean we're getting Farm Sim 24. I just don't know what they're going to do with it. Have they had enough time now to implement things they were trying to implement for this one but couldn't get it done? If crash damage was a real thing, I wish it was. I do. I wish it was. I wish it was a toggle like everything else that Farm Sim does is a toggle, right? You can turn it on and off. I'd love to see a realistic damage like Wreckfest, but in Farm Sim. That'd be fantastic. Having real-time damage in this game would be insane. You want to cut through a field? Oh, you're flying at 40 across a plowed-up piece of land? You're going to be bouncing all over the place, man. You're going to tear all kinds of stuff up. Like, it would really force you to play this as a simulator, not as a video game. Like, I think it would change the whole dynamic of the way people play. Yeah, I think it'd be great. So Chicken Chow, I said they might wait till 25. That was before I heard that Farm Sim 23 was being released for Switch and mobile, right? Or before it was the even numbers that was the Switch and mobile. Now it's the odd numbers, and the even numbers are now for PC and Xbox and PlayStation, PC and console. So I don't know now. Now I think we might actually get a Farm Sim 24. As crazy as that sounds, I think that might actually happen. I mean, if they do 25, then they're going to go back to Farm Sim 26 for mobile, if I had to guess. They're going to go back to even numbers for it. I just don't know, though. I think we're going to get a 24. Some think yes, some think no. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been me the whole time, but my thinking was they did 3 years between Farm Sim 19 and Farm Sim 22, right? I was thinking they were probably going to do the same thing again. It's going to be a season pass. There's a season pass. Yeah, there's a year 2 season pass. It's already available for purchase. And the GoVile DLC was the first piece of it, I think. No new iteration. Well, I mean, yeah, but this is just a year 2 season pass. So I mean, the last bit for this is the year 2. Like they've already started dropping it. So I mean, the last piece will be around November, right? Which is why I'm kind of thinking they're going to wait till next year and do a Farm Sim 25, is because they're going to drop something similar to the Platinum DLC with a new map and new stuff later on this year, right? So why would they do that right when they're about to release Farm Sim 24? So that's the reason I'm kind of banking on that it's going to be 25, and they're just going to flip back to even numbers in 26 for the mobile stuff. So when you put into perspective, the season 2 is the next game. No, the year 2 season pass is already out. Yeah, it's already out. The GoVile DLC was part of it. That's not the new game. I don't think. If it is, that's a really weird way to do it because they're not adding anything else to the base game. But then again, you know, Farm Sim 22 is pretty great. There's a lot of things that make it complicated for modders, given. But I don't think the new iteration of the game would be any easier. It'd probably be harder, actually. So that is the new game? No, that's not a new game. That's just DLC. They can call it whatever they want to. But if that's their justification, yeah, we're definitely not getting 24 then. We're going to get Farm Sim 25. But it's not a new game, though. Like, a new game would be a whole new engine. It would be modifications made to AI. It would be adding GPS or taking away GPS, adding realistic ground features. Like, that would be a new game. Just adding some more mods to the game is just DLC at that point. That's not a new game. Like, there's nothing new about the game, this iteration of the game itself, that they're bringing to that. Unless they plan on doing some major internal updates. Then I'll get on board with it. But not until then. I mean, they can still build it on this same game engine. Like, I don't think that's a problem either. But they definitely should be working on GPS coming to the game, realistic ground textures and stuff. They should be working on all that. They really should. Hey, what's up, Biggie? How's it going? Welcome. Wish we had GPS on console. Yeah, that's the one big thing that I think they should build into the base game would be GPS. Because I gotta tell you, this is pretty nice. I turn, I push a button, and I'm locked on, and I just let it go. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. But yeah, J-Rock, I don't think they necessarily have to build it on a new engine, because they were working on realistic ground textures on the engine they built this on. They just couldn't get it to work right. So if they just continued on this engine, I think they could give a better version of 22 with this same engine in 25. But again, I think it's going to take a lot of work. And now that you mention it, I don't think we're going to get a 24. If they plan on releasing new maps and stuff, and if everybody's saying that is the new game, is that part, that's not a new game, it's the same game with DLC. I mean, it's like saying Destiny 1 was a new game when they came out with that third DLC for it. Like, it was the same game. Destiny 2 was a different game, built on a different engine, had different stuff in it, like in the base, just the base features. I think the console manufacturers, yeah. New to Farm Sim, just downloaded the game on PS5, overwhelmed already. Yeah. So it looks fairly simple. And it's like, oh, look, a farming game. I can just get on there and farm stuff. There's a lot going on, though. I recommend just starting with whatever base equipment you have. Start with New Farmer. That way you get some equipment. Go to the little question marks and read. There's a whole help section if you go to your menu. There's a whole help section there on everything. YouTube video. There's tutorial videos every day. I recommend all of that. There's a lot going on, but I recommend starting with, you know, the single field, the small tractor, and the small harvester, and then kind of going from there. Just learning your buttons, learning how to drive and use everything. Someone told me to start with contracts. If you start with New Farmer, you should get a field. And then you can do contracts too. Yeah. Honestly, it's just time. Time is the hardest part about Farm Sim, because over time you'll learn how to play it, and you'll learn how to use all the equipment. And the more you play it, the more you're going to go, wow, there's a lot more going on here than what I thought it was. But I think the more you play it, the more you're going to enjoy it too, though. It's just such a relaxing, well-balanced game. There's so much going on. You can play basically any way you want to. You don't have to do any one thing. But, I mean, you got to know what does what, of course, like any new game. But, yeah, for the most part, you can pretty much play the game however you want to. So, but yeah, I would. There's little question marks. Don't pass those up. Walk up and push those, and it'll tell you what to look for, or this does that, and then you have a whole help thing. If you go to the menu here, the book and the question mark down here. If you really get stuck on something, go find it, because it's all here, every bit of it. And then mainly just watch people's content. Start from their first episode of stuff, because generally they're starting out with base stuff and then working their way up. I will tell you this though, if you're new, it's just time consuming, right? It's gonna eat hours out of your day. That's what it does. But what I don't recommend doing is giving yourself a lot of money or buying the biggest equipment and cheating money in. I don't recommend that, because you're gonna get bored very quickly. You're gonna get bored very quickly with the game if you do that. And it's not going to seem fun, because you're not going to be working toward anything. So, yeah. When you do the contracts, just borrow the equipment. That way you can play with different types of machinery and different tractors and stuff. And it may not seem like it, but all the tractors handle slightly differently. They all pull the equipment slightly differently. They all weigh a little bit different, and weight does have a factor. So, you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but every little detail that's in the game kind of does matter. So, you know, it may not seem like it at first, but the more you play, the more you're going to realize, like, this case I'm driving right here, or this Massey I'm driving right here, drives different than the John Deere that's about the same size as this one. They drive totally different. The turn radius on them is different. They have a little bit different speed. It's just, I mean, there's so much going on that it is a bit overwhelming until you just simplify it in your own mind, right? Just go, okay, I need to I need to harvest this field. Let me go harvest this field. Cool. Okay. Now let's see what I do next. And you go, my menu's not going to look the same here as yours, but, so this right here is if you just go to the world symbol, and then you have your filters, crop types, it's going to show you different types of crops on the fields. Right? And then you go to growth stages. It'll show you the growth stage, so that's what we're looking at right there. And then this will tell you what it has been done, right? So stubble, tillage, cultivated, plowed, seed bed, ready to harvest, harvested. Harvested is going to be the orange color. There's nothing ready to harvest. Remove foliage. That's for root crops, potatoes, sugar beets. And if you're playing with seasons, stuff can wither. It'll just be brown. And then you go to soil composition. You're going to have a fertilizer bar here that's going to be blue. It's going to be in 2 stages, a light blue and a dark blue. And your fields will show what you need. And that's pretty much it. Just look through your, make sure you look through your menus when you're doing stuff, because that'll go a long way. That'll go a long way. Just making sure you're staying up on what all that consists of, right? It's just a lot going on. But yeah, time and knowledge, yeah. Knowledge comes with time in the game for sure. Now, I mean, you could go watch a million YouTube videos and figure it out, or you could play and try to figure it out and then watch some stuff as you go too, which is what I did when I first started playing. I was watching streamers and playing and trying to figure stuff out as I went. Bob said, before you know it, you got 5,000 plus hours are gone. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. You did that to make money to build your farm? You had so many hours on Elm Creek, then you watched somebody's content and found out about mods. Yeah, mods in the mod hub. So if you're on console, you just go to the mod hub and you can download modded stuff. It just changes the game. Like I said, you can... There's so many different ways to play this. There's no wrong way to play Farm Sim. No wrong way whatsoever. You can play hyper-realistic, right? Like I got a wheel and pedal. I got my side panel over here with all my buttons in it. I got a little joystick I'm using to move my camera around right now. I don't know about console, but on PC I can turn my HUD off except for the course play up there, as you can see. So, I mean, you can play hyper-realistic, right? Like we'd be sitting here and just watch our weed sprayers. I wish the screens in here actually worked. I could zoom in on those, lean forward, you know. That'd be kind of neat, but you can play hyper-realistic, play from in cab. Whatever you want to do, really. There's no wrong way to play. It's just learning how everything works is the hard part. That's the worst part of it, really. It is a bit overwhelming, though. Even when 22 came out. Like, 22 came out, and then we had Precision Farming at the end of 2019. I was kind of overwhelmed with it, and now I'm using it. You know, it just... There's always something new that's coming out, and modders are changing stuff all the time, changing the game for you, so... just when you think you got it figured out, a new modder comes out with a modder comes out with something new. You know, J-Rock's made a potato mod. Working on a 4X map right now that's PC only, of course, because 4X maps won't go on console, but... yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things that makes the game so enjoyable. It's relaxing, too. That's the biggest thing. Just sit and relax and do some farming and... I would much rather this than playing Call of Duty all the time, which I used to play. And I say that, but I miss playing with the gang, for sure. Me and Pace used to play Rocket League after we stopped playing Call of Duty with everybody, and I miss doing that. But it just does not beat the laid-back feel of just driving down the field and getting your crops done, you know? Dude says over 30 plus years of people watching people drive and still has issues. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Biggie, it'll come with time. Just play and enjoy the grind, right? I mean, I tell people that all the time that are new to Farm Sim. Enjoy the grind, because it is. It's not a fast game. I do recommend going to your settings I recommend doing this and turning seasonal growth, turn it to off to start with. Play without seasons on to start with. Or play with them on to start with and learn how to play with seasons. If you do that, you'll have this menu right here. And it'll tell you when you can plant what crop, when you can harvest what crop. So it kind of makes the game a little more realistic. But I recommend new players play with seasonal growth off until you get used to the way everything works. Then turn seasons on after you're comfortable. Yeah, if you mess up, you just start the field over. Like, it's not a big deal. There's nothing really to mess up. Like, you know, you should be fine. You still play Fords every once in a while, but play this a lot now. I was playing Trials before I was streamed this today. Picked the kid up, and I was watching a video, and I was like, I'll play some Trials for about 15 minutes. So, I still play Trials. I play Riders Republic. I play that kind of stuff regularly. I probably play it 2-3 times a week. It's my gaming, my relaxation time, right? A lot of people game and stuff to get away from work and, you know, have their relaxation. Well,
That's
when it's
a new follower.
I think who was it? It wasn't VF. Who was it? Somebody was talking about it. Biggie, I appreciate the follow. Thanks for the tips. Yeah, no problem. And again, just enjoy the grind. I mean, that's the biggest part. It's going to be slow. It's going to feel useless until you start with nothing, and then you buy that next field, and you're like, oh man, I can't believe I just made enough money to buy that field. You know, like if you set yourself some goals, it makes it that much more fun because then you're just kind of going along with the goals you've set for yourself. Oh, it was Frithgar that was talking about it. That's who it was. It took me a minute. Frithgar talked about this one time where he's been playing Medieval Dynasty apparently, but he doesn't put videos out on it because that's kind of his relaxation because farm sim is his job now, right? Like his YouTube channel was so successful that it became his job, and he doesn't play anything else to relax. It's work, you know, and I feel that, man. I stream 5 days a week. This is work now for me. This isn't, you know, my get away from work time, my leisure time. This is what I do. Schedules, certain games. I got to stick to it. So, not that I don't enjoy it. I 100% still enjoy this. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it. And those of you that have been around a long time know that. If I get tired of playing a game, I'm done with it, period. There is no going back. But I kind of feel that. I know what he's talking about because it does kind of change the way that you play if you stream and make content all the time. I'm going to get out of that tree line a little bit here because we don't need to be that close anyway. There we go. But it changes the way that you look at content. So, or you look at gaming, right? Like, I don't play Farm Sim almost at all unless I'm streaming it because it's content. But it's also something I enjoy doing, which is why I play it 4 to 5 days a week. And all other games I typically play twice a week, maybe 3 times a week at most. Pretty much all of them once a week, though, except for Farm Sim. I enjoy it. I enjoy the other games, too. I just don't want to burn myself out on it. But stuff like Riders Republic and Trials, I never streamed that. Rocket League, I don't stream that. I did a couple times. But, you know, I never streamed it. I made content on it for a while. It was crappy content, but I did it when I was first starting my YouTube channel. But, you know, I quickly realized that there was certain types of content I could make, and then certain types of games I wanted just to play. And Rocket League and Trials and Riders Republic and all that became just games I wanted to play. So, those are my leisure time. I don't really have a crowd for those games, so I don't see any harm in it. You played Red Dead Redemption with your youngest daughter and her friends? Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Red Dead's fun. I never did get very far in Red Dead 2, but Red Dead 1 was a brilliant game. I loved it. I beat Red Dead 1, beat the zombie part of it, the zombie DLC stuff. Fantastic game. Yeah, I think honestly, while I was making content on other stuff, I played Fallout 4 to death on my Xbox, man. But I was making other videos and stuff. I didn't make any content on it. Fantastic. Fantastic game. Loved it. Wasn't as good as Vegas. New Vegas, but it was okay. That's a grass field. What happened if you don't do anything except plant it? This is soybeans. And oddly enough, grass doesn't. Your grass fields in Farm Sim 22 don't grow weeds. So realistically, nothing happens. You just plant it and let it go. You'll get less of a yield if you don't do lime on it. If you don't raise that pH level, you'll get less of a yield. But other than that, nothing really happens. It'll grow. It just won't produce as much grass. Oh, I mean, it's just great that you spend time doing it, you know? Like, regardless of their age, it's great that you spend time doing it. Doing something you all enjoy and hanging out. Dude, that's great, man. I think there's... For me growing up, we ate dinner every night as a family, right? And we do now. Me and Miss Deuce and the kid, we eat dinner every night as a family. We might do it sitting on the couch watching TV, but we're all sitting there watching TV and eating and talking and enjoying stuff. So, to me, that's pretty impressive. You know, that people can still appreciate those little things. You know, getting together to hang out, play video games, or watch movies, or whatever. And I think that's great. There were some of my friends that didn't have that home life, you know. But I think it's important. I think it's important. Oh, we need to fix this thing. Hang on. Back here we go. I gotta be careful with this thing with these skinny wheels back here, man. This thing is tippy. Look at it. Watch it. Look at that wheel coming off the ground right there already. Like, very tippy feeling. Don't want to go too fast with it. Tried to turn over when we were leaving the store. Barely getting out of the store. Oh, it's the tractor that needs repairing. Yeah, this thing's got tons of hours on it. Yeah, I'm going, Bob. I'm going. Bob's about to yell at me. I can hear it already. Bob's going, "You're not going to watch that?" Yeah, that'll likely never happen. Kid's too shy, and Miss Deuce she's got too much going on. Now, if I'm not mistaken, last year for Miss Deuce's birthday, we did, what's that game called? Scribblenauts. She saw it and she wanted to play Scribblenauts, so me and her sat here and streamed it last year. No cam, but she was the one making all the decisions, so. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move this plow since it's kind of turned at an angle right here. Let's go ahead and move it and get it out of the way. That's all the weeds done for the year, so we're pretty much done now. It didn't take that much longer than I thought it would. I thought it was going to take a good bit longer than that, but it wasn't too bad. See if I can... You know, I think I'm going to move this thing. Oh. Probably need to drop it going under there, I guess. I'm going to put it over here, I think. I have to get a telehandler down here to move that. Oh, have we got more fertilizer back there? Or is that lime? I think that's lime back there, guys. Where's all this stuff coming from? It's crazy. This needs to be left toward the front. I'm just thinking about this. We're going to need this to plow that cornfield when we're done, so we'll just put it right here. Alright. That's done now. Let's go put our wide tires and weights back on here. Should have done it just a second ago. Customize. All we did was back that thing in there and then pull back over here, and we got $3 worth of damage already. Crazy. Wide tires and weights 2. Yeah. $0. That's the one we want. Okay. Get our wide tires put back on here, and that's it. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna go grab that header and we're gonna pull it back around where it goes. I feel like it's just in the way over here half the time, to be honest with you. I don't think I can get it through there. It'd be cool if I could, but I might be able to with the telehandler. Might be able to get it pulled in there. Nah, I don't know if the header would fit down there. It probably won't. Sorry. We need to sell that. The root crop storage, because we're not doing any root crop. We need to sell that, and we need to sell our bell storage over there both. There's no use for them. So when I get in touch with Farm Flex Building Company, I'll see how much they'll offer me for this one right here too. This building right there. That guy. The dome. The gymnasium-looking thing from the 80s. See if we can get rid of that, because we don't need it. I don't plan on doing root crops at all, so I think it'd be fine to get rid of it. This thing's got almost 90 hours on it already. Oof. So for perspective, around episode 50, we did the update where we had to start a new game. And when I did that, I went and gave myself all the equipment that I had before the update and put everything exactly like I had it, money and everything. But we've only been driving this for about 50 episodes, and we got 90 hours on it. For perspective. So, and before we got it, or after we got it the first time, before we did the update, it had about 40 hours on it, so got about 115 hours on that thing. Crazy. Check our animals real quick. Chickens are good. Cows are good. Okay. What's all this doing down here? This thing needs water. But, yeah, let's go and go get it water, I think. Probably not the worst idea. And you still do when the girls all come home? Nice. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Let's go get some water for the greenhouse real quick, and then we'll go on from there. Skip on into May, the end of May, and then into June, we can sell some soybeans. Which was kind of part of that and more today. Most of that and more was just the manure and the granule fertilizer, getting the cornfield done. The weeds were the biggest part, because I knew we were going to be doing that today. Already full. Yeah, we'll just put one trailer over there. We don't need to fill it up twice and put it over there. It'll last long enough. We should be okay. I'm just knocking stuff over on my desk. Don't mind me. Oh, I forgot we got these 2 bags of seeds over here. Or 2 crates of seeds, whatever. Got a while before we have to stack any lettuce again, though. Knocking stuff over every day, man. Every day. We will go ahead and fill it back up. We just won't put it in there right now. Cow just laying down. Yeah, we could plant this field right here if we wanted to. It just doesn't count toward the cow's feed. That would be cool if it did, though. I think that's what True was talking about earlier, is actually being able to let them out to pasture and save some on feed and just let them munch on grass. You know, then have like the silage and stuff still in here. Or not silage, but the TMR in here for kind of like a supplement, right? But I think that'd be a great idea if they could do that. Yeah, that is pretty cool, man. It's a hard it's hard without having family that is a family, right? And again, I knew plenty of people, they didn't have that experience growing up, so. I don't know. I just feel like it makes you a different person. To some extent, you know. Not for everybody, but there's some people I know that raised the same way, and they turned out way different than I did, so. I don't know. There's just something that you can't replace. Spending time with your family. What is that in there? I saw in the window. Oh, it's a drill press. Nice. I didn't even know I could come in here and do this. Am I punching a hole in this thing? What's happening here? Why am I so short? Take that off there. They don't need a hole punched in it, I don't think. Put the tools back up. And we pick up the oil can and everything. Spray bottle? What's this guy? Looks like a bearing press. Is that what that is? Somebody let me know. I have no idea. I've never messed with any of that in there. It's pretty neat. I didn't know you could do that. Oh. All right. Let's skip on to the next day. Everything's pretty much taken care of today. I mean, if you own a farm and you've got heavy equipment, some sort of bearing press, whether it be one you purchased or one you built, is almost a necessity. My dad worked on his own trucks when I was growing up, and he didn't own a bearing press. He built one. So I guess technically he owned one. Great demand at Jackson's farm for what? Question. Probably not soybeans. 14... What was the high last year? 12? Yeah, it's the end of May. We can go one more day, probably. Let's see if anything in the sell page. We can't afford it right now if there is. Manure spreader, but ours is bigger. What is this? Is that digestate? Is that what that is? I have to go see. There are a lot of things I still don't know what it is. There's manure. Digestate's that. What's the other one? Double manure? Separated manure. I see. Okay. How do you get separated manure? What am I missing? I'm missing something somewhere. Let's check the animals. Probably need to dump some feed, but I think they'll make it one more day. They had, what, 80 in there? So, yeah, they'll make it one more day. They're good. Chickens are good. We still can't sell milk or anything. I forgot to update the game. I'll probably do it tonight since we're not going to be back on here till Monday anyway. This is good. Out of mineral feed, but we're back up to 2.1. So we got about 300, we got about 400,000 out of that 20,000 mineral feed. That's pretty good. Maybe closer to 500,000. That's pretty good. But yeah, you can see the silage is dropping down pretty good, but everything else is fine. Let's just deactivate that for now. Still spitting out lettuce. That's good. That's good. You know what I think we might do at some point? We might just have somebody come pick these up and just set that to sale. Instead of waiting on the best sell price for it. It's just a lot of extra work. I didn't realize we could make cornbread. To make us some cornbread at some point. Lettuce. When is the best sell date? January. Although at the diner right now, they're selling for 1,000. I know what we're about to do. About to go easy. We're about to go sell some lettuce. If it's selling for 1,000 at the diner, shoot, son, I'm not gonna let that go. I ain't letting that go. That's too good to pass up. Gonna make stacking all these a bit weird because actually it really doesn't matter. I can just slam them on here. Since we're only doing what is it, 7 pallets? 8 pallets? 1, 2, yeah, 8 pallets. That's not gonna work. Let's try this way. Not exactly what I meant to do either, but that works. I'm just messing this all up. Hang on. Let me straighten those back up. Okay. Close enough. Close enough. Yeah, having these all stacked in a line is a lot easier. Where they're like side by side or whatever. We don't have to you don't have to handle 4. You just scoop in 2, move over, scoop 2. You're done. This is alright though. No problems. Whoa, that's a problem. There we go. Oof. It was close. Yeah, for 1,000 per 1,000, we're gonna go ahead and sell them. Mainly because it's May, and the best sell price in January, and it's 1,000 per 1,000. So, I think going ahead and selling them now make a ton of money in the long run. Getting rid of what we got for nearly the same price as the best sell time in January. Let's move over a little bit. Yeah, I saw a post, Chicken Chow, talking about that. I saw a post the other day. It was like a meme, but it was one of those memes that was kind of like, yeah, that actually makes sense. It was like a dude chasing money, you know, and at each frame he got older or whatever, and then the bottom part of it showed a dude chasing time. And at the end of the top one, it said, I'm a billionaire. The end of the bottom one, it said, I'm a time billionaire. And basically, it just means that, you know, you can spend your whole life chasing money and have nothing to show for it. Or you can spend your whole life enjoying your time and be wealthy that way. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, actually. But yeah. I'm not wealthy. I'm not even close. I'm in the lower class by all measures. But I've enjoyed my time so far. So it's hard to beat. Are there times that it's stressful? Yeah. But does that make it not good? No. I don't know if I'm a time billionaire, but 100,000-aire maybe. But I mean, I think the point is though is you know, you can have all the money and buy all the things, but what do you really have, you know, at the end of it all? If you can figure out a way to do both, awesome, you know. What was it, 24? That's 12,000 liters. So it's only, I mean, it's only 12,000, but hey, whatever. That's money to us. We've only got 41,000. Let's see. Yikes, easy there. Let's see where the diner's at. I think it's, oh, whoa. Thought I was still on the road. I was not. Holy smokes, what happened? Well, this is awkward, isn't it? This is very awkward. Been a while since we've done one of these. Ray, I'm borrowing the JCB again. Yeah, been a while since I've done that. Whoops. Let all the shaders load. What did I come back to? A mess. I was trying to tag the diner because I keep forgetting which one's which. And I thought I had stopped, but apparently my truck was still rolling, and we ended up in the ditch over there. Whoops. You doing some grilling, J-Rock? Isn't it snowing up there somewhere? All right, let's just very carefully. Leave that sitting there a minute. May need it again. Oof. There we go. Jimmy, drive this back to the store for Ray there, if you don't mind, sir. Can't reach it. What about right there? Can you reach that? Can't reach that either, huh? What about right here? Just park it along this side. Can't reach that either. Can you make it to the store at all, Jimmy? This map definitely needs an update. Yeah, definitely needs that. He can't get to the store at all. Oh, maybe it's because he's up here. Hang on. Maybe it's because it's like off the road in a really weird spot. Maybe that's what it is. Get back on the road first and give it a try. I bet that's what it was. No? That's what it was. Yeah, it was just in a weird spot there. Okay. Ooh, I was about to say, man, everything's broke on this map now. No, we're good. Probably won't last, but taking advantage of it. I hear you, buddy. I don't blame you. Grilled some steaks last night. Me and the missus. Nice. Heck yeah. We're probably going to have a grill weekend this weekend as well. It's supposed to be raining Friday, but Saturday it's supposed to be in the 80s and be pretty nice. Honestly, today's the hottest day we've had in weeks, man. It's been like 71 the high, and then at night it's getting down to like 42, 41. Which is pretty weird for Mississippi. in the end of April and May anyway. Whatever cold front you guys are pushing down from the north, stop. Stop doing that to us. All right, let's see. Right here. Oh, the diner. I like this little diner. Like your classic American Route 66 roadside diner right there. Fantastic. All right. Oh, it's taking them. Oh, is that all? Is that all you'll take? Okay. Oh, we got the environmental score. I forgot about that. I forgot about that environmental score. All right, let's see where else takes lettuce then. The garden restaurant, I'll take the rest of it. I think that's right back over there. A tough place to get out of here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just hop back over to the garden. Again, I mean, a little bit of money's better than nothing. We sold 2,000 of it there, so not too bad. You can keep it down there. We're done with it, northern Minnesota. Oof, man, it's been rough, hasn't it? It's been a very cool spring for a lot of places. And they were talking about in like February. They were talking about how it was going to be a warmer spring than normal, but no, I didn't get none of that. It's been well on average a cooler year than last year for sure so far. I don't expect summer to be, because last summer it was actually kind of mild, but the spring has definitely been cooler than last year. Which is also not great for Tornado Alley and Dixie Alley, because typically when that warm front does hit, there's a cold front coming in from the north, and that makes Tornado Alley what it is, and Dixie Alley as well. And Dixie Alley's been hit hard this year already, and the way they're talking is May is shaping up to be pretty nasty as well. So well, that one right there. There we go. It's weird. Like it didn't want to go. Go, buddy. All right, there we go. That paid for our 695 in environmental score. Nice. That environmental score is gonna be nice to have, man. That's an extra added money on top of the listed price already. That's a big deal when we start selling soybeans. Oh, and when we go to repair this trailer. Probably should learn to take these turns a little wider with this truck, I think, or with this trailer rather. Not for y'all at 100 to 105 for 3 to 6 months straight. 3 to 6 months. In Tennessee? 3 months straight? 100 plus? Oh, come on now. 3 weeks, yeah. 3 to 6 weeks I could see. Because I mean we had like 2 weeks down here where it was like 105 with a heat index of 120. Not 3 months. Were you talking like middle of June to the middle of September? I mean, maybe it was. I don't know. I don't live there. It just seems extreme for Tennessee, though, because we didn't even get that here. We had like maybe three straight weeks of 120 with the humidity and everything. But other than that, it was in the 80s. Like it was 120s like Arizona summers? No. Dude, I'll take 120 in Arizona over 120 in Mississippi every day. Which you live in Michigan. You know how the humidity is, man. 120 in humidity is not the same. It is not the same, dude. Not at all. Like, I've been out west, dude. I'll take 120s every day in dry heat. Like, it's still hot, yeah, but it ain't wrapped in a wet blanket in a microwave hot, though. You get dehydrated and pass out because you don't realize it's hot, but it's not, I'm actually dying hot. The humidity was a killer. Yeah, it's terrible, man. Anywhere, Tennessee, Alabama, I mean, even all the way up to Lake Michigan, man. Like, It's just humid. It's just humid. There's so much moisture and stuff around the Mississippi River. It's just bad. All right, there we go. That is everything taken care of today. I think even the cows got some food by accident today because we had to get the trailer, or the truck. So they're good for another day. We still got plenty of straw. The chickens are fine for a couple days probably. And this has water now, so we're all good. All right, let's go jump into June. See if we can sell some stuff here, kind of toward the end of the stream, but let's see if we can do it. We did check the store page, right? Yeah, just a manure spreader in here. All right, cool. We'll probably start getting up earlier. It's getting daylight now, so getting daylight a lot earlier now. Here we go. You had to buy a new air conditioner because your old one wouldn't get the house any cooler than 80 inside. That's brutal. Yeah, that's brutal. No, we had like 85 to 90 was like kind of the average high last year, which is kind of weird because normally like 98, 99, you know, close to 100 pretty steadily for at least from July to maybe like the third week of August. That's pretty steady here, but last year it was nice. 85s and 90s. A couple of 3 weeks there right around 4th of July that was like really just stupid hot, but August was a lot cooler than it should have been, I think. Oh man, the big high lift. Look how big this thing is. I've still yet to play with this, and I really want to. I want to do some logging at some point. There's another plow. We don't need it, though. All right, that's all that's in the sell page. Dang it. Sadly. Which it doesn't matter, because we don't have any money right now anyway. Not a big deal. All right, first and foremost, let's check on the animals. They're good. Probably have to feed the cows before we go one more day, though. Production-wise, need some more water. That's fine. Not a big deal. We'll get to it at some point. And again, the TMR is still there, so that's good. Let's hop over and grab the truck. Actually, let's check the price of the soybeans real quick. $11.19. High price $11.23. And I've done this before where it actually went down the next day. $11.66 at Jackson's Farm. What was the high last year? $11.23. Oh yeah, we're going to Jackson's Farm then. Heck yeah, we're not waiting. I did this last year where we waited to sell and we ended up losing a couple $100 a load. So no waiting this year. We're going. Yeah, we're going. Where's that at, Chicken Chow? What's happening there? What? There's like a whole gap there. I can't walk into that? Seriously? Okay, then. All right, let's go sell some soybeans. We got a couple of loads we're going to have to take. Probably be 3 loads, 133,000. Tucson. Oh, I bet it's hot. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not hot, but it's just a different heat. During collision, man, I'm telling you, it was weird. I was so far away from it too. Is the weird spot. I mean, the weird part. It's just a weird spot, I guess. I don't know. I was combining 2 sentences there. Didn't work out. Soybeans, 137,000. Yeah, so we should make around 140,000 total, which is what this is what we've been waiting on right here. $39,000 a load. 40, 80, 120 is gonna be 4 trips. Okay, that's fine. We're just going right down the road, so not a big deal. Holds a lot of soybeans, man. One of these, it only holds like 23,000. I think it's sorghum. Sorghum's just so much more dense than everything else. The dust storms you can do without? Oh, I bet, yeah. Those have got to be awful. Those have got to be terrible. I think one of my favorite places I've ever been as far as temperature-wise was Salt Lake City. Went in August, and as we were on approach or whatever, they were like, temperature's 100 degrees or 110 degrees, whatever it was. And I got off the plane, I was like, dude, this is 70-degree weather. What are y'all talking about? They're wrong. Like, I loved it, man. It was so nice. Like 110 out. It felt like it was 50. Because leaving Mississippi in August and going to Salt Lake City in August, it's two totally different climates. Like, it's totally different. It was so nice out there. I can definitely see why people want to live out in like Utah or out west, California, whatever. I can definitely see that. The humidity level is just non-existent in a lot of those places. Myself, if I got to move and I got to pick, and money was no object, I'd move to Montana or Wyoming. That's just me, though. I want to get as far away from people as I can. I'd move out there somewhere. Seattle, Washington, the summer is like 80 degrees. See, isn't that crazy? It's just nuts. And I couldn't imagine like maximum 80, 85 degrees. Woof. All right, here we go. Making big dollars. 45,000 plus 3,200 environmental score. I forgot about the environmental score. We were just talking about it a minute ago. That's 48,800, 48,900 right there for that one load. Sheesh. I guess we'll see a total when we get done, though. Since it's June. Lots of wide open spaces. Yeah, the Dixie Chicks were right. Even though they got canceled, they were right. I'm not even sure what happened to them. I remember them getting like dropped from their label and getting canceled because somebody said something. I just don't remember what it was. And whatever it was, it couldn't have been that offensive. Like, I don't care what people do. I don't get all torn up over words. Like, words are stupid. I couldn't imagine being that mad that you have to cancel them completely and drop them from the label and everything else. That was a Dixie Chicks song, by the way, for people that don't know Wide Open Spaces. I don't remember the name of the song. It may have been Wide Open Spaces. I have no idea. Thought it had to do with the name of the group being Dixie. I mean, maybe, but Dixie's just a place south of the Mason-Dixon line, though. Again, if people are getting upset over that, man, then the weird language police started a long time ago. Then I didn't realize that's what it was. That very well could be, though. That's silly to me, though. Tornado Alley and Dixie Alley, right? I mean, it's still referred to as Dixie Alley by even the local news stations here. I don't know. Like, I get more worked up because people get worked up over words they don't like. And to me, that's silly that I get worked up over over the fact that they get worked up. Like, it shouldn't even matter, man. They're just words. Ignore them. It's because they said they were ashamed of the president. He was from Texas. Oh, while they were in London. Oh, that's right. That's right. They were ashamed of Bush because of the war in Iraq. That's what it was. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Starting to come back now. I remember that. How silly. How silly your label drops you because you're ashamed of your president. Like, Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like, great career, you're at the highest of the highs in your career. You know, I think our president's actions have been shameful lately. And then all of a sudden you're dropped from your label and your career's over with. Like, what? I just can't, man. Oh, I couldn't even imagine. That's such a silly reason. Just silly reason. Uncle Ben's wasn't just rice though; it was pancake mix and everything, right? Like there was a whole line of stuff for Uncle Ben's. So I don't follow him on Twitter or anything. I really have never watched any of his videos, but I saw a guy post the other day, reminding everybody that when they canceled Uncle Ben's, he started his own pancake mix company, and he called it Uncle T's. And he put his face on the box. He was like, "Yo, ain't taking my box away." I can't remember his name, but I thought it was hilarious. I don't know anything about him really. I thought it was funny. And it just hit the 20-year mark for them also. For the Dixie Chicks? Really? Since their first hit? It was in 2003? Yeah, so I mean, that was right at the height of their career then, man. That's crazy. Oh, people blowing up over the comment, yeah. People losing it over the comment. That's still wild to me, man. Like, if you can't criticize your elected officials, then something's terribly wrong. I wasn't just a big listener of their music. I was aware of who they were, and I know some of their songs, but it's just because it was everywhere on the radio at the time. But they were pretty good at their craft, and they weren't just a gimmick, you know, 3-piece girl band or whatever. Like, they were actually really good. I still find it silly though, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I started it, J-Rock. I started it by making the comment. I just think it's weird, man, that people get all bent out of shape over some words. Like, dude, who cares? Who cares what other people say or think? I don't care. As long as they're not coming after me, you can say what you want to about me, but as long as you're not physically coming after me, I don't care. Oh yeah, they were musicians too. That's what I'm saying. They could sing. They were musicians. One played the fiddle, incredible. Was the short blonde chick? She was the guitar player of the bunch. Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they weren't just like a gimmick band. They were actually really good at their craft. People probably thought they were a gimmick, but I don't remember. But yeah, man. I mean, I just think it's wild though. They got dropped because they criticized the president's involvement in the war. Like, that just... If everybody had gotten fired from their company that criticized Bush over that, nobody would have been working in 2005, 2006. Like, nobody. Everybody had some criticism of it. Well, not everybody. A lot of people did. I generalized everybody. No, it wasn't everybody, but there was a lot more people than just them that had criticism over it. I just think it's wild. How crazy. So my environmental score is holding the same here. 32.28. Oh, it actually went up. Maybe we should have waited till tomorrow. 45,739 per load. Yeah, I think the price is actually going up. That's okay, though. We're still getting a better price than the high last year. And again, I risked this before. I took a couple of loads of wheat or no, not wheat, sorghum, and then I waited the next day, and the price actually dropped by like 100 per thousand. So I wasn't risking it again. Just go ahead and get it out of the way, sell it, be done with it. Shame on them for putting someone with authority and power in check in the of the country in check. Yeah, right. Should never criticize people in charge. Never. Shouldn't do that. But you know what, J-Rock? After that, then they loved Big Brother. $100K of corn. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. It's all about accountability. I mean, it should be. Questioning things should be the standard. It shouldn't be the outlier. But apparently it's not. It's the outlier, which I find weird. But hey, what do I know, man? I'm just some dumb hillbilly from Mississippi with no college degree, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What mods am I using? For the graphics? Nothing for the graphics. Yeah, burning. Nothing for the graphics. That's just the game itself. Now the map itself has been, the lighting and stuff has been, the modder had somebody help and do a lot of stuff with the lighting and the shading and stuff in the map. So the map itself has been modded, so the shaders are different and the lighting's different in it. So, but as far as mods for the graphics themselves, I'm not using any. It's just the game and the map. Svet Lazar, how's it going? Welcome back. Good to see you again. Really need to smooth that field by the silo you removed? Yeah, I didn't smooth it. I didn't sell them, but I need to smooth all that back out. I will before I plow it up tomorrow. I'll get all that fixed up. Good old crisp 1080p. I mean, that's most of it, yeah. It's weird, man, because on my little playback thing in the Twitch dashboard or whatever, it doesn't look that good, but it looks pretty decent after I get it ported over to YouTube even. It still looks pretty good. Streaming at 55,000 or 5,500 bit rate, which is almost the max, not quite. I would really like to stream at 6,000, but it seems like this is a good sweet spot for people that can't watch at 6,000 when I don't have encoding options. 5,500 seems to be a pretty decent sweet spot, and a lot of people still can't watch at that, but 23,588 for that load. That's pretty good. All right, let's check our sale real quick and see how much we made here. Let's see, sold vehicles. We spent 178,000 in April and May. No, we spent way more than that. Oh my God, we spent a ton of money in April and May on vehicles. What did we buy? Remember what we bought? All right, here we go. Harvest income, 160,000, and the miscellaneous was 11,000. We had $11,000 in just the environmental score. That's incredible. And then 160,000 in harvest income. Made $160,000 on 137,000 liters of soybeans. Oh yeah, we're about to be making some big money next year. All of our big fields are planted with soybeans. We're gonna get so many more soybeans next year. That one cornfield should hold us for silage for a while after it gets done, so yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah, we're gonna have some serious cash out of this soybean next year. Field on my left right here, the two fields right here and then up there, and then our big field right by the barn up there, or right by the farm. And we got 130,000 liters just off of that field, and this field last year. So, and then we got field 7, which is like 39 acres or something planted. So, it'll be pretty good. How the bales doing? They're probably getting close since we skipped on to June. But I'll have to wait till Monday to do anything with them. I'm out of time for the day. I am slap out of time. I started a little later this afternoon than I wanted to. But we'll have to get the cows some feed. We got some catching up to do on Monday. Let's see. Yeah, we have to go get the cows some TMR, which we have plenty of. Get the chickens fed. We'll have to get some more water in there. Let's go down here and check the bales, shall we? But yeah, I think you're right. The update that the modders did, man, really made a difference. They're at 96%. Is the most, it looks like. And then 94. Yeah, 96 is the most, 94 is the least. 96 fermenting. Yeah, so they're gonna be ready on Monday, it looks like. That's pretty good. I'm guessing we're going to push these on in. Can't pick them up, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll bring the telehandler down with the bale grab and just scoop them and drop them, because after they ferment, it'll take them. So we'll do a little bale cleanup on Monday, getting the cows fed and such, and then getting ready to mow the grass again. Maybe, I don't know if the grass still grows on the same. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's ready to harvest. We can let it go one more growth stage, though. I think we will. And we add in some mods to service weekend. I think I'm gonna add 2. There's 2 that have been requested. Either 1 or 2, maybe. And then I'll be update the ones already on there, Junior. Yeah. I'll cover all that tomorrow, though. For sure. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, watch some TV. I appreciate y'all for being here as always. And remember, if you want to check out the entire playlist from, I think from Elm Creek, the first Elm Creek episode stream of Farm Sim 22 all the way to now is all on my Farmer Dudes YouTube channel. So you can go back and catch all the stuff from Farm Sim 22. But if you want to catch the first episode of Iowa Plains View and kind of see what built us up to this point, all the streams are over on the Farmer Dudes YouTube channel. Go check it out. Come hang out on the main channel tomorrow night. Me and Bone are going to be doing some Sons of the Forest. Tomorrow during the day right here on Twitch, I'll be playing on the Eastern North Carolina community server, so come back and hang out for that if you want to, sometime around noon Eastern. Right here on Twitch, so come hang out. They all get ported over to YouTube too, so if you want to go check them out, you can. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Later, folks.